Assalamualaikum and good morning. My name is Wan Muhammad Taufik Hidayah, and today I will present introduction and project background of our project management report. The aim of this report is to apply project management principle to a real construction project. Through this report, we develop a proposed project plan for the pre-construction stage, including planning, scheduling, and resources management. The report consists of 6 main sections, which is project background, work breakdown structure, work program, cash flow management, method statement matrix, and discussion and reflection. This section will explain the project can be planned and managed effectively before construction begins. Now, I will explain the background of our selected project. The selected project is the construction and completion of a single-story bungalow house. The project is located at Kampung Baladau Selat, Mukim Serada, Kuala Terengganu, Terengganu. According to the project information, the proposed construction period is 8 months, which is within the maximum contract period of 12 months. There are 3 main parties involved in this project. The first one is the client Puan Azrina binti Abdullah, who is responsible for financing the project and determining the project requirements. Second is the main contractor S&M Engineering Sendirian Berhad, represented by Encik Ahmad Fakhruddin. The contractor is responsible for construction activities, site management, labor supervision, procurement of material, and ensure the project is complete according to the contract. Lastly, the local authority is Majlis Bandaraya Kuala Terengganu. MBKT is responsible for approving the building plans and ensure the construction with local building regulation and structural requirement. Next is building information. The total contract sum for this project is 199,947 ringgit. The building has a gross floor area of 2208 square feet. For the foundation, the project used a rough foundation system with a millimeter hardcore base, which provides stable support for the building. The superstructure consists of a grade 25 reinforced concrete frame, providing strength and durability to the building. For the roofing system, the project used a lightweight smart truss system, which helped reduce the structural load while maintaining good performance. The bungalow consists of 5 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, 1 living room, 1 dining room, 1 kitchen, and 1 yard, making it suitable as a family residence.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Ajak Syabil bin Muhammad Adilan, and I will be discussing on work breakdown structure. So what is a work breakdown structure? Alright, so think of a work breakdown structure as the master blueprint for our project management. It transforms an overwhelming construction task into a series of clear and logical phases. We divide these phases into work packages, which are our smallest trackable units. Because these are specific, we can accurately estimate the time, labor, and materials needed, which is key to keep costs under control. You will notice that we use the word like roof or wall instead of actions like installing or building. Using nouns instead of actions makes our progress objective. So it's easy to confirm that if a roof is finished. These professional standards create measurable milestones for everyone, from the client to the construction crew, ensuring that everyone knows exactly what is being delivered at every stage. So this is our work breakdown structure that I've produced. I've broken down every single element in proper stages to ensure that everyone knows how to get the job done according to the sequence. So the true value of a work breakdown structure is how it changes our perspective. Instead of staring at a massive complex building project, we see a collection of smaller achievable pieces. This significantly reduces stress and keeps the team focused on the right goals. It acts as our source of truth. It keeps the client, the contractor, and the builders on the same page. When everyone knows exactly what needs to be delivered, we avoid misunderstandings that lead to delays. Finally, a work breakdown structure is a powerful risk management tool. By breaking down the work done into such detail, we can spot the potential safety or logistical issues long before they become problems on the construction site. So it allows us to be proactive rather than reactive. Okay, so how about the limitation of a work breakdown structure? It is important to note that a work breakdown structure is not a schedule. It tells you what needs to be built, but not when. So it doesn't show that you need to finish the foundation before you can start the walls. For timelines, we must pair this with other tools like a Gantt chart. So there is a fine line in creating this. If we make it too simple, we risk missing costs. If we make it too detailed, it becomes a burden to manage and distracts the team from the actual building work. So a work breakdown structure is not a set and forget document. If the client changes a design or adds a new feature, we must update the structure immediately. If we don't, the plan no longer matches reality, which leads to errors on site.
Next is the master construction program for the project overview and substructure of our single-story project in Kuala Terengganu. The entire project spans a total of 228 days, kicking off on a Saturday, June 6, 2026, and targeting completion of Friday, February 26, 2027. We begin with a 27 days initial phase covering site mobilization, clearing and excavation, which successfully wraps up on July 7. From there, we immediately transition into the work below lowest floor finish phase. This is a crucial 35 days window dedicated entirely establishing our robust foundations, focusing on pad footings, column stump, and the rough foundation. We close out this foundation stage with surface preparation, membrane waterproofing installation, and a radius structural inspection, ending on 30th 2026, giving us a perfect start for our main build. Moving on slide 2, let's look into the core structural and enclosure program. The structural skeleton start with 20-day frame phase starting on August 6, 2026, where we sequence the formwork, the reinforcement, and concreting for our column stiffener and roof beams to finish by September 2nd. Following this, we head into the 28-day roof phase on October 3rd, covering the fabrication of our roof trusses and finishing up with the roof metal deck and insulation components by November 4th. Once the roof is inspection, we move directly into the building envelope. This involves a 20-day wall construction period ending in the late November. Immediately follow up by the installation of doors and windows, which lock up the structure by mid-December. Finally, we transition to our finishes. The 33-day internal finishes and the 32-day external finishes program run tightly in parallel, taking us through the end of the year and into early January 2027 to wrap up our architectural surfaces. Finally, our building services, remaining civil works, and the handover sequences. As we step into the new year, our 30-day services first kick off on the January 4th, 2027. This brings our MEP team on site to complete plumbing and electrical installation within 15 days, followed by our sanitary fittings to bring the internal building to operational status by January 29. Concurrently, our master schedule shows the wrap-up of our long-term external on February 3rd, which complete infrastructure like the RC driveway, perimeter slabs, turfing, and main gate installation. This seamlessly brings us into our 30-day completion window. Starting January 21st, we conduct comprehensive testing and commissioning run final inspection, allot 10 days from snagging and rectification, and a complete final site clean. Everything culminates on Friday, February 26, 2027, with the official completion of the CCC no communication marking a successful project finish.
Okay, I will explain about the cash flow management. The identification of initial capital investment requirements. The identification of initial capital investment requirements during the pre-construction stage is essential to determine the amount of funding needed before construction activities begin. This process includes estimating costs for preliminary works, mobilization, materials, labor, equipment, administration, and contingency allowance to ensure that sufficient financial resources are available throughout the project and to prevent cash flow shortage. First is contractual financial requirements. Contractual financial requirements include the performance bond, contract on risk, car insurance, and workman compensation insurance. These requirements help protect both the client and contractor from financial loss, accident, and project risk. Second is preliminary cost allocation. The total preliminary cost for the project was 14,584 ringgit, covering site preparation, temporary utilities, workers' facilities, safety provision, construction equipment, site cleaning, and supervision before the main construction works commence. Next is sources of funding. First, client progress payment. Client progress payment are the primary source of funding for the project. These payments are made to the contractor based on the percentage of work completed and certified during the construction period, ensuring continuous cash flow for project activities. Second is contractor-owned capital. The contractor-owned capital is used to cover initial project expense such as mobilization costs, preliminary works, labor, and material before receiving progress payment from the client. Third is variation and additional work. Variation and additional work provide an additional source of funding when change or extra work are instructed by the client during the construction period. This additional payment help cover unforeseen expense and adjustment to the original project scope. Next is strategy for managing financial risk or certainties before mobilization. First is secure the contract and initial funding. Before mobilization begins, the contractor should ensure that all contractual agreements have been finalized and that sufficient initial funding is available. This includes securing the letter of acceptance, signing the contract document, and arranging the necessary financial resources to cover preliminary costs, mobilization expense, and yearly project activities. Having adequate initial funding helps the contractor avoid cash flow problems during the early stage of construction and ensure that the project can commence smoothly without delays. Second is prepare adequate working capital. Adequate working capital is essential to support daily project operation before progress payments are received from the client. The contractor must allocate sufficient funds to cover expenses such as labor wage, material purchases, equipment rental, and site facilities. Proper working capital management reduces the risk of financial shortage and allow construction activities to continue without interruption, thereby improving the overall financial stability of the project. Last one is prepare a detailed cash flow forecast. Preparing a detailed cash flow forecast helps the contractor estimate the timing and amount of cash inflow and outflow throughout the project life cycle. This process enables the contractor to identify potential cash shortage, plan financial requirements, and ensure that adequate funds are available at each stage of construction. A well-prepared cash flow forecast also support better financial decision making, improve budget control, and reduce the financial risk associated with project delays and unexpected costs.
Hello, Assalamualaikum. My name is Ahmad Ashraf Haikal. This presentation covers the technical method statement for the construction. The project involves a modern residential building with 5 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms designed for a private client. The primary focus of our section is the frame. which serve as the primary structural skeleton of the building, providing the necessary strength to support all the subsequent building works. The project is scheduled for completion within a 8-month time frame. So the structural frame for this bungalow is a hybrid system consisting of cast in situ reinforced concrete and a structural steel frame. For the reinforced concrete components, which include columns, roof beams, and stiffeners, the project specification required grade 25 vibrated concrete. This is composite material where the concrete provides compressive strength, and MS 146 steel reinforcement provides tensile strength. The structural steel portion utilized grade 43A mild steel for the living, kitchen, and yard terrace. These members are square hollow section or SHS that are shock primed and secured through the side welding and bolting. So here, the method statement for the concrete work is divided into 3 main phases: formwork, installation, reinforcement fixing, and concrete pouring. According to the matrix, column work involves a total quantity of 4 meters square of 4 meter cube of concrete, which is poured in a single day using mixer trucks and vibrators. However, the preparatory work takes longer, with 3 days allocated for fixing 729 kilogram of reinforcement bars and 8 days for the installation of 80 meter square of class F1 formwork. The roof beam is more extensive, requiring 7 meter cube of concrete, while the pouring is completed in 1 day. The formwork for the beams, covering 270 meters, has a scheduled duration of 25 days. The reinforcement phase for these beams involve 633 of bars and take 3 days to complete. So for the installation of the structural steel frame involves 18 units of SAH members. The process includes fabrication, transportation, and hoisting into position using a mobile crane. The workforce for this task consists of 1 operator, 2 skilled welders, and 3 general laborers. Based on the output rate of unit installed per day, the total duration for the steel frame assembly is 9 days. Key machinery for this phase includes the crane, welding machines, and a generator. So now we're talking about safety, health and environment, HSE. Health and safety protocols are categorized by equipment, PPE, and administrative controls. Specific safety equipment required for frame activities includes fall protection, harnesses, and lifelines. For work on roof beams and fire extinguishers located near welding station for the steel frame, welding shields must also be used to protect the site from flash. So required personal protective equipment for all workers includes safety boots, hard hats, reflective vests, task-specific PPE such as heavy-duty leather gloves and specialized welding masks is mandatory for steel workers, while hearing protection is required during the operation of bar cutters and vibrators. Finally, administrative safety requires a hot work permit before any welding or cutting of the SH members can begin. Daily housekeeping is also mandated to remove timber of cut nails and wire scraps to prevent trip hazards.
Discussion and reflection. First, feasibility of the proposed plan. The proposed construction plan is considered feasible as the project budget, construction period, and resource allocation have been carefully planned. The use of project management tools such as the work breakdown structure, project scheduling, and cash flow forecasting has helped improve project planning. In addition, proper financial planning and risk management strategies have ensured that the project can be completed within the required time, cost, quality, and safety objectives. Key challenges in planning and resource management. One of the major challenges encountered during this project was preparing a realistic construction schedule and determining the appropriate sequence of activities. Financial planning and cash flow forecasting also require careful analysis to ensure sufficient funds were available throughout the project. Furthermore, managing the availability of labor, materials, and equipment while maintaining effective communication among project stakeholders presented additional challenges during the planning process. Lessons learned from the case study. This case study provides valuable practical experience and improve our understanding of construction project management practice. We gain knowledge in project scheduling, budgeting, cash flow management, resource allocation, and risk assessment. In addition, this assignment improve our teamwork, communication, and problem-solving skills, which are essential for our future careers as quantity surveyors and construction managers.
In conclusion, our proposed project plan shows the importance of proper planning and coordination before construction begins. By applying the work breakdown structure, project scheduling, cash flow management, and method statement, the project can be managed more systematically and efficiently. We hope this project has provided a clear understanding of how project management contribute to the successful delivery of construction project. Thank you for your attention.